Hi guys. Hello. Hello everyone. Welcome. I am Sonya. Welcome to my channel. This is Sonya G Coaching and also Let the Lady Speak podcast. I wanted to come on live, guys, because I have achieved a milestone and I have to thank everyone for this milestone. I have officially made it to 500 subscribers here on YouTube, and I'm excited about it. So I wanted to come and I wanted to say thank you to everyone who recently subscribed to my channel, and thank you to all of my supporters who have been with me from the beginning. I appreciate you guys so much, more than you ever know. I also want to say thank you to all of my fellow content creators, everyone that I've collaborated with, everyone who's ever any of my shared out any of my content. I really sincerely, from the bottom of my heart, want to say thank you. So, this live is really just giving thanks and welcoming all of the new subscribers to my channel and just telling you a little bit about my channel. And then I also have some questions. That were sent to me or that I've discussed throughout the week. And so I'm going to go over those as well. And then I had a few questions in the comment section related to my Martell video. If you didn't see my Martell video, please check it out. I am talking about basically narcissism in that video. I am not diagnosing Martell with narcissism, but some of his behavior is very, very familiar to me and it looks like narcissism. So I was talking about it. Hi, this is why I'm single. Hey, honey, welcome first. I'm so happy you are here. So I am celebrating my 500 subscribers here on YouTube. And for some people, it may not seem like a big deal, but it's a big deal for me because I've been working at this for a while, for one. And two, I've been able to get there slowly but surely. But I'm still going to be able to, I'm doing it with the content that I want to do in the manner that I want to do it. Although I have switched it up quite a few times. At first, I'm like, I'm just a podcast. It's just going to be a podcast, but it's morphed into something else. But I'm grateful that people are even interested. Thank you, love. Thank you so much. I am grateful that you guys are interested in what I have to say and you find my information informative, and that you guys listen and tune in. I am like super, super excited for all of that. I'm super excited. Thank you, Monique. Thank you for being a great support. You've been great. I appreciate you, love. Come on, community tab. I know I'm waiting. I guess they said it takes like a week or something like that for me to get my community tab. So I'm waiting for it, and then I can start posting some of the posts I do on Instagram, like my motivational posts. I can put them on a community tab as well. Hi, Sierra. Thank you so much, love. Thank you. I appreciate you. Um, but yeah, I'm going to put I'll put a link if anybody wants to come up. If you want to say hi, or if you have something to say in general, if you have a question that you want to ask or something that you want to talk about, please make sure you put it in the comment section below, or later you can email me or inbox me on Instagram. So yes, I am excited. I am excited about my subscribers. I'm excited. I'm finally moving in the right direction, and I'm looking forward. I am going to start the narcissist series that was started with the conversation we had. Excuse me, that was started with the conversation we had regarding Martell. But as you guys know, I don't really like to hone in on the people on the shows too much, just because out of respect. Like, he has children, he has family, and I don't want to keep talking about him. I don't want to tear him down. His children are old enough to be on the internet. But I do feel like there's a lot we can learn from that situation. And as you guys know, I promote healthy and safe dating. So there's a lot to learn, and I'm going to share on that. You know, you know. So I'm happy you guys are here. Thank you so much. And did you guys do your self love check in this week? I didn't see comments in the section. So I don't know who checked in and who made sure they did what they were supposed to do. But I am still your accountability partner. So I hope you had a good week. And I hope you did your self love check in if you didn't do anything else. Also, I have a new podcast episode out where I'm talking about forgiveness. Please check that out as well at Let the Lady Speak. That's Let the Lady Speak podcast on your podcast platforms. I don't know why I'm losing my voice, guys. So, besides the big thanks that I wanted to give everyone and welcome to all of my new subscribers, I wanted to talk about a few things. And one of them is about Neo and Crystal. What are my thoughts on Neo and Crystal? I feel like when a person shows you who they are, believe them. That's where I'm going to start. Neo's pattern has been his pattern. And I think there was a point in time with him and Minyata where when they broke up, which was his ex-girlfriend, and the mother of his two oldest children, I think there was a point where there was transition where he kind of like put her out of the house and it was just like really, really messy. And when you as a woman sit by and watch a man mistreat another woman like that, you have to know that one day that may be you. And a lot of times they feel like you may be complacent in that behavior. And so because they feel like you may be complacent in that behavior, you're up next. So I would never advise anyone to when you see a man moving in an inappropriate manner and when he isn't treating a woman well, when he isn't treating her with respect, when he doesn't talk to her or talk about her in a respectful manner, to take note of that, take note of his character, take note of how he handles himself because he chose her and that was the mother of his children. So if you made the choice to be with her, and you made the choice to have children with her, don't disrespect her and definitely don't make her homeless. And so that's basically what she did, what he did with her. Hey, LMV, how are you, honey? Ellen, I've finally made it to 500 subscribers. So that's what we're talking about tonight. And then I'm going to talk about a few top hot topics. But I'm basically just saying thank you to everyone who supports me and who supported my channel. I don't know what's going on with my voice, y'all, but I am tired. So that's probably why. But my other question was about Young Miami and Diddy. What did I think about Young Miami and Diddy? Again, I think Young Miami, unfortunately, was over her head. Thank you, love. Thank you. I couldn't have did it without you guys. So again, I'm a big shout out to everyone that supports me. I really, really do appreciate you guys. Um, I feel like she was a little in over her head when it came to Diddy. I don't think she knew what she was getting herself into with a person like that. And again, it goes back to pattern. When you see a pattern, when you see someone acting a certain way, you have to know and understand that that is who that person is and that is what they're going to do. And don't expect anything differently until you see them really doing some work and trying to do something differently. If you don't see that, take it for what it is and walk away. I think she should have just enjoyed herself and learned as far as like his business mind. Even Kim Porter and Jennifer Lopez, they always talked about how much they learned from him about business. I think she should have left it there and kept it moving. I don't think she should have. Monique, exactly. Trying to be a player. That's when you know people are all talking, no play. Like you don't know what you're doing. You just talking like you know what you're doing. Um, but no, she didn't know what she was doing because I'm like, girl, you shouldn't have said anything. I wouldn't have said anything. And not even that I will promote dating Diddy, but or someone like him. But sometimes you don't want a commitment. You want someone to have fun with. You want someone to enjoy. Diddy's the kind of guy that you enjoy. You have fun. Y'all go out. Y'all travel the world. Like he was invested in trying to help her with her businesses. He helped her with her podcast and all of that. I think she should have just enjoyed that and saw the relationship for what it was. And I don't think she saw it for what it was. I think she thought that I can change him and you can't change a person. You can never change a person. Person could only change themselves. And a lot of times there's some things that will never change, you know. I think she thought that maybe she can change him or sway him another way that, you know, basically she had the sauce. Like, girl, nope. You don't have the sauce like that. Did he have some other issues, some long-standing practices? You can't come in and change that. So I feel bad for her if her heart is really broken, or she felt like she get played or something like that. But she has to understand when you see a pattern, take note of that pattern and believe it. Trust it. Trust that when you see a person act a certain way or carry themselves a certain way, don't think that you're going to make it different or they're going to be different for you. It'll be a matter of time before they betray you like they betrayed everyone else or they treat you like they treat everyone else. You know, the other conversation, which is what got me over 500 subscribers, was talking about Mel and Martell. First off, guys, my heart breaks for Melody and the children because this has to be a lot. She's trying to live her life and go about her business. I don't really watch Love and Marriage Huntsville, but it doesn't take much to recognize certain patterns and behaviors when A, you've been through it or you work with people. And Martell is he's never gonna let up, unfortunately. He's not gonna let up. Like I said in my video, she is a great supply for him. She makes him feel she makes him Hey Crystal, welcome, honey. How are you? Good to see you. If you guys have any questions or topics, please put them in the comment section for me. Crystal, we are celebrating 500 subscribers. So I'm saying hi to everybody and saying thank you to all you guys for riding with me and supporting me and looking forward to 500 more and more and more than that, right? So for Martell, he's not going to stop if he is, I don't know if he is a narcissist or not, but if he is a narcissist, they love to kill, steal, and destroy. They're coming after everything. They don't want you to ever be happy. They don't want you to ever blossom. And they will keep coming for you and trying to destroy you at any cost and at every turn. So the best thing to do is for her to disengage, not interact as much if she can help it. I know they have children. I would just keep it real cut and dry. However, she can get the government involved or outside resources involved, and that's what she needs to do because it can get dangerous. I don't know if it could be with him, but it's going to be a problem. I am happy you are here, honey. Welcome, welcome, and thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate you. Yep, and that's Martell. He is not going to stop till he gets enough. He's going to keep coming after her. Anytime she is celebrated, he's going to react. Anytime he doesn't get his way, he's going to react. Anytime he feels like people are praising her too much, he's going to react. That's why one minute he's quiet and is good, and then as soon as we see her in the Hamptons, he's like, "Oh no, I want custody of the children." He's going to use any every excuse to bother her. Thank you so much. Thank you, Crystal. I love you. He is jealous. He is very jealous. And like I said in the video, she's also the great supply. So, like I said, if he is in fact a narcissist, I don't know if he is, but if he is, um, the supply makes them look good. The supply makes them they feed off of your energy. They feed off of your empathy if you are an empath. They feed off of everything that they lack. And she's driven and she's smart and she's hardworking. Like she has all of these things going for her. And being associated with that made him feel good. It feeds that ego, it feeds that image, it feeds that grandiosity. And her continuing to grow and blossom bothers him because he can't get that from his other supply, which is what's her name, Ariane. So that is part of the problem. And even with the charade thing, like charade girl, I don't know what you're doing. Ladies, please don't date a guy who you see all of this mess. Like he has so much baggage. I know he's considered to be attractive. I personally don't find him really attractive, but I know he's considered attractive, but he has a lot of baggage. He has a lot like of red flags. He has a lot going on, and I wouldn't intertwine. I wouldn't date somebody like that. I wouldn't advise that anyone date anyone like that because they're not healthy. He's not healthy. He's obviously still in love or in obsession with his ex-wife, and that is what he's going to focus on. And you don't want to be involved with that, not even to have a good time. And he's already rejected her. He already told everyone that she's not my type. He's going to continue to like devalue everyone else because his focus is male, because male is doing so good. She's the great supply. So I wish she would just walk away. Reminds me of Latoya. Yes, I'm so happy that she got out of that relationship, because he was, again, he was something else. Yep, I agree. So that was my thought on them too. I just, I hope he and Sheree are not dating. Um, and I hope that if so, she knows not to get too invested, but he's already publicly dismissed her. So I wouldn't entertain that. I wouldn't recommend anyone entertain that anymore. Another question I got asked, I'm going to actually do a video on it, is how does someone become a narcissist? The thing about narcissism is that a lot of people don't believe that narcissism is true, a true diagnosis. It is just within the last 50 years or so that it's been considered a true mental health, behavior health diagnosis. And narcissistic traits are more so like what we all have. If you love yourself, if you have any type of self-esteem, right? If you view yourself as beautiful or smart or intelligent, there, because that could be considered a narcissistic trait, because it's about self-love. The problem with the true narcissist or a person with the disorder is that it's pathological and it isn't true. They don't really love themselves that way. They don't really see themselves that way. They really see themselves as they don't have an identity, and they don't because of their parents. And so a lot of that has to do with how they were raised. But again, I'm gonna do a video on it. It has to do with how they were raised. They are kind of raised by a narcissist usually, and the narcissistic parent oftentimes teaches them to be like them or to seek um praise from the other parent. Like you have to praise that parent. And so they don't have an identity. They don't have a sense of self because they've been told what to do, and they've only felt loved or been rewarded if they did something. So it's kind of like, if I am a straight A student, or if I am making my parent look good, then I get praise. But it becomes unconditional, because once that stops, or if you fall short, then they kind of push you away and leave you alone. So that's how that goes. But again, I'll do a video about it. But that is really all I have as far as like the questions. I had another question. This is the last one. Does weight matter when dating? Because there was a TikTok that was going around where a woman was saying that men only want women who are um who are overweight when they're broke. And that's not true. A predator wants someone who doesn't have great self-esteem. If there is a lack of self-esteem there, then that is who that person is going to prey on if they are a predator. It has nothing to do with weight. Now, I will say health matters when dating. If a person is a healthy person, they want a healthy partner. They want to know you take care of yourself, that you guys are going to be able to travel, live life, and do everything that you want to do, or that they want to do in retirement and just in life. But it doesn't necessarily mean that that person has anything to do with weight. It doesn't mean it has anything to do with weight. It has more to do with self-esteem. But I do say health absolutely matters. Now, weight may matter as far as attraction. A person may be attracted to a certain shape or size or weight. That's a point. But when it comes down to whether or not a guy wants to use a woman, it's not based on weight. It's based on self-esteem. Predators are going to prey, and they prey on people who they feel don't have a strong support system and don't have a sense of self. Crystal, the question I would ask you is, and I don't know how much you want to get into it, you just let me know. For one, like, respect is important in a relationship, and if a person is disrespecting you, especially a man, that is not love. So what keeps you anchored with that boyfriend? What is it about him that makes you want to stay, right? And then I will ask myself, meaning I will ask you to ask yourself, What do you deserve? Is this something you feel like you deserve? Now, I'm going to tell you, you don't deserve that, but you have to know you don't deserve for someone to keep calling you out of your name. Because I think you brought this up before, and this is not good, my love. You don't deserve for someone to try to tear you down. When a guy tries to tear you down, guy or woman, when a partner tries to tear you down by calling you names or neglecting you or stonewalling you or making you feel small, that is not something that you should entertain. But you have to know that for yourself. You have to know that for yourself. You have to be willing to choose yourself and you have to walk away. You really do. You can't be okay with someone calling you. And the fact that he's getting angry and he's doing it again and again means he is not considering your feelings. And do you want someone who doesn't consider your feelings? Do you want someone who doesn't respect you? Do you want someone who doesn't show you love? You have to know who you are and what you deserve, and you have to know you deserve better. That's not a joking matter. No one really jokes calling their partner ugly, especially if you've addressed it. So, Crystal, my question to you is, have you told him not to do it again? I'm good. You better run. Run like a track star. What's that track star's name? But I'm happy that helped, Monique, because it's true. We have to know how valuable we are. We have to know who we are as people. And that's like, so there's 7 stages of healing. The first stage is acknowledging. You have to acknowledge that something is wrong, and it doesn't mean that you're a bad person or that you're it doesn't mean that you're not worthy. It means something is wrong, right? And that we can work on. Once you acknowledge it, you can start working on whatever the hurts and pains are, and take it one thing at a time. You know what I mean? So number one is acknowledging that there's an issue. Number two is starting to do the work and getting some help and knowing that it is okay for me to seek help, right? From whomever you get it from. If you need a therapist, get a therapist. If you need a coach, you get a coach. If you want to go to the church, go to the church. So you have to start working on and acknowledging it. And you have to do it like piece by piece. Don't overwhelm yourself. And the healing process takes time, it is ongoing, but you can do it. You learn to manage your triggers. You learn to manage your energy. You learn to take your power back. And I've talked about this plenty of times before. I'm going to always talk about it. Taking your power back is you saying who and what and how people operate in your life. You take a stand on how you're going to be treated, and you don't accept anything less than that. You don't accept what less than what you deserve. But first, you have to know you deserve it, and you have to start treating yourself in that manner so that people know that is what is expected. People teach you, you teach people how to treat you by what you allow and how you treat yourself. So he is lashing out. So what it sounds like, well, you know what that may mean, Crystal? That may mean he needs some time to himself. He needs to heal. That's what that sounds like. It sounds like if he is still angry with the ex and he's taking that out on you, it sounds like he needs to heal. But I will also be curious as to the tone that you use when you address your concerns with him. Excuse me, like, are you respectful? Like, baby, you need to brush your teeth. Or do you just come off like your breath stink, go brush your teeth? Like, how do you talk to him? Because that makes a difference too. But it shouldn't be about you calling him ugly. I mean, it shouldn't lead to him calling you ugly. If you are sincerely trying to help him, if you are sincerely like, baby, you need to go freshen your mouth. You need to brush your teeth. Or did you brush your teeth today? I mean, all in all, we want our partners to be able to talk to us. It's all about intention. So are your intentions to hurt me when you say something to me? Or are you really trying to help me? Are you really looking out for me? Like, I have braces. If you see food in my teeth. I want somebody to say, "Hey, Sonya, you got a little spinach right there, right?" I'm not gonna take offense to it and lash out unless I'm angry or I have some other unresolved issues. It sounds like he has some other anger issues. And again, with that, again, I go back to you have to know what you are willing to accept and who you are. You have to know yourself, how you deserve to be treated. But oh, well, then that shouldn't be a reason to call you names. That should be a reason to call you names. Again, it's about respect. You want your partner to respect you. And if he can't respect you, if you guys can't communicate, if you can't hold your partner accountable or responsible, or if you can't let them know that something is wrong, bad breath is a huge issue that can lead to heart problems and all kind of other issues. This upsets him, yeah. Yeah, if he has anger issues, they're going to get worse and they're going to continue. And that's not something you want to be the brunt of. If something as simple as you haven't brushed your teeth before you give me a kiss sets him off, that can lead to different types of more physical abuse in the future if it hasn't started already. And you don't want someone tearing you down, and you definitely don't want anyone putting their hands on you, Crystal. So if you want to talk one on one, love you, let me know. Um, You can reach me on Instagram. I will have my links in the description box, but we can talk about it one on one just to get more context. Like, how long have y'all been together? Is this someone? Do you have a home together? Do you have children? What's keeping you there? That would be the question. What about him makes you say I need to stay with him? What about him makes you say I need to keep going? Okay. You said you still love him, but and I understand the financial support, so it will be about looking into resources to see if you can get support elsewhere. And then you have to also know your worth. Yeah, we can talk one on one. And the other thing is love is one thing, but a healthy relationship is the most important. So you can love someone, but sometimes you have to love people from a distance. And is this really love, or is that's something you want to know? Like, is this really love? Does this relationship, aside from the finances, how does this relationship pour into you? How does it nurture you? How does it make you better? How does it build you up? How does it But okay, so you say he loves the Lord, but he doesn't act like it. So that would be a question, right? If he loves the Lord, but he's not acting like it, then he doesn't love the Lord, right? Does he love the Lord? That would be a question. Does he love the Lord if he acts the way that he acts? Right now, I don't want to knock anyone's faith or belief, but when you love the Lord and God is after your heart and you're after God's heart and you have a relationship with the Lord, there's certain things that you are convicted about doing. Some people just say they love the Lord, but they really don't have a love for the Lord, and um they really don't have a relationship with God. They may go through the motions, they may tell people they love the Lord, but they don't really have a relationship with God. And that's different. And you can tell when someone has a healthy relationship with God or their higher power by how they treat others, how they treat the people they care about. God wouldn't want him to treat you that way. So if that's the case, I would question that. Not saying he doesn't love the Lord. I would ask though, do you really think he loves the Lord? Do you think a person who is after God's own heart would act the way that he acts? And he just honestly, it sounds like he just needs time. He just needs some healing. Um, hold on 1 minute. Let me get a link for you, Crystal, and you can contact me at this link. Give me 1 minute, guys. Sorry. All right. So that is my link. You can reach me there, and also there's a link down below in the discuss in the comment section. Hey Mod, how are you? Mod, I am celebrating my 500 subscribers. I just got up to 500 subscribers. I'm celebrating it, and I'm celebrating more, and I'm also doing a Q&A about hot topics. I kind of went over everything, but that's right, Monique. That is great advice. That is great advice because that's true. When someone really loves you, God is saying you have to get the old thing out the way to get the right thing. A lot of times we praying for things, but we don't prepare ourselves for those things that we're praying for. And we don't feel like we are worthy of what we're praying for or asking for. And a lot of times we keep people, places, and things in the way, and they act as a barrier from us getting our true blessings. That's so true. You're welcome. Thank you, Mod. No, but even if he says he's going to change, but you haven't seen any changed behavior, that is your cue to go ahead and depart, right? If someone keeps saying I'm going to change, but they don't change, that's just the way to keep you there. That's just the way to keep you stuck and coming back. Um, the best apology is changed behavior. So if that apology hasn't changed, then you have to move forward. Are you being a matchmaker, Mod? You imagine you have some African men. That is so funny. I love that for you. Yeah, Crystal. Thank you, Monique, for encouraging Crystal. Crystal, thank you for sharing your story. And again, I look forward to having a one-on-one with you. But please know that you are worthy. You really, really are. You're worthy to be treated well. So, Miss Maya, do you want to come up? Does anyone want to come up? I want to put the link again. I'll ask you guys. Um, I know I love that you are the hi future. That is correct. Miss Future is correct. You have to have boundaries. You have to set them. You have to stick by them. You have to communicate the consequences if they cross your boundaries. If a person cross your boundary, you have to let them know if you cross my boundary, that this is what's going to happen. These are the consequences. But the problem with that is that if you don't hold on to them, they won't respect your boundaries moving forward. So, yes, Miss Future is correct. You have to set them, you have to stick to them, and you have to let go. Thank you so much, my lady. I appreciate you. Yes, it sounds like he may need therapy, but what you have to know is that he has to be willing to do that, and he has to want to do that. He has to want to go to therapy. He has to want to change. A lot of people don't want to go through the healing process. They think it's going to be so terrible. They're afraid of what they're going to learn about themselves and what they're going to see. And a lot of times people don't want to see themselves as imperfect, but we're all imperfect. And it's better to get help so that you can evolve and become a better person versus being stuck at where you are. Right. A lot of people too are used to or don't want to lose the past or the current situation. And sometimes you just need to let that go. Because I will tell you, during your healing process, once you go through it and you get to a certain point in your healing process, there are a lot of energies and people and places and things you just won't entertain. You don't want to be there. It bogs you down. It stresses you out. But he has to want to go to therapy. He has to want to make that change. If he doesn't want to do it, you have to choose you. I'm going to always encourage you to choose yourself. You're going to have to choose you. You'll be taken care of. You'll be financially taken care of. But you can't allow a person to use finances as a way to keep you and then abuse you. That's called financial abuse, right? On top of the verbal and emotional abuse that he's doing. So you have to be willing to choose yourself first. And if he isn't making the efforts to make the change, you have to recognize that. And then you have the power to make the decision to go. Yeah, we all hope he gets the help he needs, but most importantly, we want you to get the help you need. We want you to get a have a healthy relationship. Yeah, it sounds like he has some other um he has some other issues. If you want to come up to Crystal, you can, but we can also talk one on one. You know what, Kimberly? Let's talk about that because we talked about first off, this is why I'm single. Welcome back, honey. Thank you, love. Welcome back. And Kimberly, welcome back. Um, that is important. I think a lot of times we don't talk about when dating how we should find out whether or not a person is willing to seek help. And a person that isn't willing to self correct or get help is will cause that'll be problematic down the line, right? Because if they don't want help, if they won't get help, that means everything they're going to do, they're going to put off on you. They won't take any accountability for their actions, and the problems that you're having are going to keep escalating. They're going to pile up, you know? And so it's very important. I'm with you, Kimberly. If you are not willing to help yourself, we don't need to be in a relationship together because I know that things are going to happen. Life is going to happen. Lives, right? And if you don't have tools, then how are we going to get through these things? I always tell people you need to ask people about coping mechanisms. That should be one of your dating questions early on. Like, how do you cope with things? How do you deal with things when you're angry, when you're sad? You need to get that information so you can see if they are willing to get help or if they have help or if they feel like they need resources. If they say, I just deal with it, or, I'm good, that lets you know that they don't have any coping skills or they may have some that are not that healthy, and you need to be on the lookout for that. Like, a lot of people they use sex as a coping mechanism. They use alcohol, use work. People will work and then they would just neglect you. So finding out how a person copes is important, and whether or not a person is willing to pick up tools for themselves is very, very important. See, peace over everything, Monique. Peace over everything. I'm so happy to hear that. And I'm happy I could be a part of that. Thank you so much. I'm so happy for you. That's right. Peace over everything. Yeah, it can be hard to let go of your first relationship or your first love. But you know what, Crystal? You don't want to waste any more time. Life is short. Life is short. And tomorrow isn't promised. You want to be happy all the days that you can. Life isn't going to be perfect, right? But you want to be happy. You want to be at peace. You want to be healthy. And most importantly, you want someone that's going to treat you well. A woman is to be adored, okay? We are to be adored, respected, loved. We are supposed to be cared for. If that man said he's a man of God, then he knows that the Bible says that he's supposed to treat us like Christ treats the church. Christ is not abusive towards us if you believe in Christ and you believe in the Bible, right? That doesn't look like abuse, mistreatment, neglect. speaking poorly. That looks like love, it looks like grace, it looks like support, it looks like empathy, it looks like compassion, it looks like nurturing. That's what that looks like. So be very careful, honey. Right? And you know what, Kimberly? A lot of people suffer from depression during the pandemic, and a lot of people decided to get help. And you know, when you stuff a lot of your emotions and your feelings in, it comes out looking like a rage. It comes out looking like resentment. It comes out looking like anger. And people often hurt the people that are closest to them. So they end up hurting their significant other or their children. Or those are the people that are harmed by, you know, their inner demons, basically. That's right, Monique. That's what we want for Crystal. We want you to it is amazing to feel the love for yourself. When you love yourself the way that you should love yourself, you only want someone that's going to love you the same or greater, right? When you experience the love from your higher power, you only want that's the only kind of love you're willing to accept. You don't want anything else. You won't settle. Well, if you think about other men, Crystal, this is just about you having to make a decision, my love. You just have to decide. You have to decide on you. You have to decide on what you want. You have to make a decision. And you have the power to do that. You have the power to do that. You have the right to do that. It's just time for you to choose you. You have to choose you. You have to choose you because it sounds like there's not going to be any rational thought from him. And if you're thinking about dating other men, don't let money be the reason that you stay, and don't let him being the first to be the reason that you stay. We've all had our first boyfriends and our first love. You leave them, you be a-okay, especially when you're not being treated well, because you later realize how well you could be treated. So don't let that be the reason to stay. You know? So start working. Do you guys live together or are you just in a relationship together? Let me know. Monique, I'm proud of you. I'm so happy for you, honey. I really am. Does anyone else have anything they want to talk about? Anything else you guys want to chat about? Or any other questions? No? Okay. Well, I want to say this from the bottom of my heart. I sincerely appreciate you guys. I thank you all for showing up to the live. I thank you all for commenting. I thank you all for supporting Crystal and giving her some wise counsel. That is important. That's what I want to talk about because I keep trying to do this video, and I swear every time I try, something happens. I wanted to talk about Lori Harvey and what she had and why she's able to move the way that she is. And I still may do the video separate, but I want to talk about it. Number one, she has wise counsel. She has people in her life that let her know her worth and also helps her navigate through these relationships. Because you think about it, she's dated Diddy. She didn't let Diddy drag her on for 5, 10, 20 years without committing to her and giving her children. She dated Future. She did the same thing with Future. She didn't allow him to give her a child and go on with her life. Like, we have the power to make these kind of decisions. A lot of times we give our power away and we let the man, decide who we're going to be and when we come and when we go. But that decision is really yours, you know? The man proposes, but you choose your mate. You choose your husband. You have that power of choice. So that's number one. She has wise counsel. She has people who have told her, like Marjorie told her. I remember they did a show a while ago, and they said, um, Marjorie kept telling her, Lori, you are the prize. Remember that. And to always be classy. Remember that. And that's another thing. She doesn't talk a lot. She doesn't put her business in the street. She doesn't have anything to prove to anyone. She's living her life. That's another thing that keeps her going. She's living her life. Her identity is not wrapped up in another person. Her identity isn't wrapped up in being with a man or being a mate to a man. And not that being in partnership is bad, it's not. But when your whole entire identity is attached to someone else, that's detrimental to you, because if that person leaves, then who are you without them, right? So she has a sense of self worth, she has self esteem. She also, I believe, has good girlfriends. You never hear her friends telling her business, trying to get attention, sharing anything, selling anything to the tabloids. Like, they are radio silent. They are her friends who are there to love and support her. And that's another good thing that she has. So she has wise counsel from her family, and she also has self-esteem, and she has a life of her own. She's building her own life or her own identity. She has self-esteem. She's aware of her worth. She's aware that she does not have to put up with things that doesn't serve her, relationships that don't serve her. And then also, she has a good circle of friends. And I tell people that's another step in your healing process. Like, you really need your anchors. You really need people you can talk to and count on. And if you don't have those in friends and family, again, get a therapist, get a coach, get someone else that can talk to you and kind of bring you down to earth. That is someone that's non biased and that isn't out for anything. They don't have a hidden agenda other than they really want to help you, they really care for you, or they really love you. So that's really, really important. Thank you first. Yep. You know what, Crystal? Sometimes you have to do other things, and you know what you have to do? You may have to get another job. You may have to do something else financially, but he doesn't live with you. You guys, I don't think you have children. You just have to choose you. This is about you making a decision. You'll have to choose you. You have to be okay with walking away. Okay. But we can talk about it. Make sure you call me, okay? Lori is the GOAT. She's learning at a young age. And I think that's why a lot of these men are so upset, because they don't feel like women's supposed to be that way. They feel like women are supposed to be this fantasy of a woman that they've made up in their mind. And that is that women are so emotional and we get emotionally attached to everyone and everything. And that honestly just is not true. That isn't true. And with that thought process, they're upset that she's moving on. These men should be able to do the things to her. I mean, that these men should be able to treat her like they treat other women. And no, she has a sound support system that makes sure she understands that you need to keep it moving if it doesn't serve you, which is good. Yeah, she is Sissy Virgo. She is. Thank you, Mom. Well, you have a community here with us. Okay. So we're your new friends. You call me. Okay. You'll have a support system. Monique, they would never turn down a chance. They would never, they would be the first ones in line, especially Bootsy. Bootsy always has something to say. And what's interesting to me is that a lot of these men feel like they can be however they want to be, but a woman can't. First off, we don't know what's true or not. We don't know how many men she's actually been with on an intimate level. We know that she's dated them, but we don't know if, because some of them it's been quick. I know her and Trey Songz were kind of like in and out. And I know Marjorie has always told her, like, you should wait. Now, I know she told her to wait till marriage, but Marjorie's always encouraged her to wait before she was intimate. And we all know that Steve Harvey has this 90-day rule, and I'm sure he's installed that in her as well. But where I was going to go with that is that a lot of these men who are out here spreading themselves, like, we as women, we want a man who values his body as well, right? Like, do you value yourself as a man? Do you take care of your body? Do you understand who you are as a man? Or do you feel like it's okay for you to just spread yourself? Like, I don't want a man who will be with anyone who has no discernment, who doesn't honor himself, who doesn't honor his body. There isn't anything attractive about that. I want someone who respects himself and respects his seed and respects his body and takes care of his overall health, including his mental health and his physical health. And that includes his sexual activity. Like, do you protect yourself? Do you take care of yourself? Do you guard your seed? Like, that's important to me. You want to make sure that someone is clean. But yeah, they're upset, but they definitely I agree, Monique, they definitely would. If they had the opportunity to be with her, they would be with her. Cuz she's a beautiful young lady, you know? She's a beautiful young lady. And I don't think for her, as far as that Michael B. Jordan situation, I don't think he really wanted to get married initially. I think he a lot of times when older men date women in their 20s, when there's like that 20 to 30, they're in their 20s and the man is in their 30s or 40s, it becomes I don't want anyone else to have you more than it's I'm ready to be married and settle down. Like, we've never heard any of his interviews where he said, "Yeah, I'm ready to settle down. I want to be married." He's usually like, "Yeah, no," like kind of not so sure. But she is a desired woman and she's very young. And I'm sure he had feelings for her. I'm not taking that away. But I'm like, a lot of times men just want to tie you down. Ladies, that's why you just don't let these men get you pregnant. I'm not even being funny. Don't let them just get you pregnant. That is their way of trying to stay in your life while still being able to do whatever they want to do. You know, don't do that. The best thing for you to do is protect yourself. Put yourself on birth control, whatever that looks like. Require that they wear condoms. Require that protection is there. Require commitment, and if you want to be married, require marriage before having a child, and make sure that man wants to be a father and that man wants to be a husband, and he's going to honor and respect that relationship. Yes, they are. They are big mad. They're mad. They're so mad they can't. They're so mad they can't contain themselves. They are like super upset. The same thing, but like Russell and Sierra. Everyone's so upset with Sierra and Russell. And I'm like, she didn't want her, she wanted a family and she wanted a man who was going to respect her and honor their relationship and be faithful and be a father for her child. Like, Sierra came from a healthy two-parent home. She's not out here just looking for a good time. I think she just liked bad boys because she was in the industry. And a lot of young ladies like bad boys at first. You know, you're curious, what's all the fuss about? But once you realize that there's other issues there and that they don't once you realize there's other issues there and this person's not going to commit to you, it kind of changes your mind. But it's an experience to have. You get it out your system, you learn from it, and you grow from it. You don't sit there though. That's right, guard your wounds by every means necessary. That's absolutely true. They said they broke up because he was ready to get married, but she wasn't. But we don't know what really happened there between the two of them, but supposedly that's why, because he was ready to get married and she wasn't. But I think something else was happening. There were a lot of subliminal messages. Um, And in some of those subliminals kind of let me know that there was something else that's happening. I've always felt like he had some other underlying anger issues myself personally, and I think maybe that came out, but we don't know. We don't know, and I don't want to speculate too much. But they said she wasn't ready to get married. Although I didn't see her as I think she's a family woman and she wants to get married eventually. But I do think at this time of her life, she's trying to live her life and she's trying to be a mogul and have her own. I think one thing people don't understand about being a kept woman, one thing a lot of women don't understand about that is it doesn't always allow you the freedom that you think. You have to have the right partner for that. A lot of men with money are men who like to control. and they use you being a kept woman as control. So you have to be very particular about being a kept woman. And I think she kind of sees that. Not saying I think Steve is controlling, but just because they're exposed to a lifestyle that we can't imagine. And you hear conversations you wouldn't normally hear. You know, you see the jets and you see the homes and the bags and the clothes and the Instagram pics, but you don't know what it's like to be with that man. You don't know what it's like to have a husband that's never home and never available, or one who just uses you as an arm charm, but they're not really invested in you or the relationship. Like there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that other people don't see. So I think that is important. That's right. If marriage is what you want, you need to require marriage. And I am a strong believer that, be married before you have kids, but make sure that that man is the type of man that if y'all not together, he will still take care of his children, because marriage doesn't guarantee that he's going to be a great father. So he needs to be a great father and a great husband. You need to be looking for both if that's what you're trying to do, if you want to have children with your husband. Yes, they can be very controlling on a lot of levels, and I don't think that's something that is spoken about. Women don't talk about how they want to control your friends. Powerful. A lot of powerful men, they are narcissists. Honestly, you kind of have to be in some cases, as far as being so driven and self-absorbed and believing yourself over everybody else, because a lot of people will doubt you and tell you you can't make it. But a lot of men have never they never, like, new money, they haven't had access to this money, so they want you for whatever they want you for, but they also want to enjoy all of the fruits that being a wealthy man or a man with money comes with. And that comes with access to women they never had access to before, and a lot of them want to get that out their system, so they play and they cheat. That And you have to worry about that. You have to be concerned about that. So watch his pattern too. I really wouldn't date a person with new money unless I really knew their integrity. It is so important that you recognize whether or not a person has integrity. Integrity is key in a man. Well, I did not talk about Nick Cannon, but let's talk about Nick Cannon. I'm happy you brought that up. I have several things to say about Mr. Cannon. Number one, I think it's really irresponsible of him to keep having children under the circumstances that he is. Because how can you be present as a father with that many children? I come from a huge family. We have children like with 8 of us. So I'm the oldest of 7, but my grandmother had 8 children. Even with 8 children, even with 7 children, it's hard to get all of that time in, especially if everyone is working. So you have different mothers, different homes, and you are an extremely busy man. How do you be a present father? I think that's so, for me, it's so irresponsible. I also blame the ladies, because why would you want that for your child? Why would you want a father who isn't able to be there in a home and be present to help rear your child? Like, you're making a conscious decision to do this. And then the conversation about the hygiene, considering the fact that he is having unprotected sex with several different women, he may be a huge contributing factor, to women having BV and having hygiene problems. Now, I'm going to tell you, as a medical professional, there are some people who were never taught, truly never taught, to care for themselves properly. I speak a lot of times, I speak on college campuses to freshman women, and you will be surprised how many freshman young ladies don't, or ladies entering into high school, don't know about proper hygiene. So I believe that to be true as well. But him spreading his seed and spreading himself everywhere can cause BV, right? You're taking your bacteria from one person to the other. Even if you wash, we all have bacteria on our skin. We all carry a certain amount of bacteria. And so you're just spreading it everywhere. That's not healthy. Yes, we talked about that. Yeah. You have to assess a man for fatherhood. If he really wants to be a father, if he will be a good father, if he will be present, like you get it, you have to get the information. What does being a father look like for you? How do you want to show up in your child's life? Like how then you want to know about their childhood. Like who was your father figure? Who was your mother figure? How did they show up in your life? How did they show you love? Like how did you know you were loved by them? That should be some of their dating questions too. Like how do you know that you're loved? It lets you know whether or not they have a healthy relationship with relationships. Some people don't have a healthy relationship or concept of relationships. It's very toxic, it's very abusive, it's very dysfunctional, and then you end up in a relationship with this person. Now you have a child with this person, and this person has to be a part of your life forever, or a part of your child's life. And a lot of people can be extremely toxic and abusive to your children. And you don't want that. And you want someone who wants children. Like you may not work out in marriage, but you know that that man is going to be a good father. And men, you need to do the same for women. You need to know that she's going to be a good, loving, nurturing woman, mother to your child. A lot of these men complain about the mother of their children, but it's like you knew who she was, you knew how she acted, you knew what she did. Like the first time she keyed up your car, what did you think? What did you think was going to happen? And the same thing, it goes both ways. But yeah, that is very, very important to check for. I get it. It's for the checks, but you have to, Monique. You're talking about the checks and the photo ops for the Nick Cannon women. If that's what you're talking about, I know a lot of it has to do with attention, but it's like, but what about this human being that you're bringing on this earth? You're bringing a human being on this earth, right? To live and to have relations with someone else. You're essentially breaking another person and then sending them out into the world to hurt other people. That's what's disturbing to me. I don't think people take being a parent as seriously as they should. That is not for the weak. That is not a light job. That is so much responsibility. And there isn't a handbook. Every parent will tell you that. There isn't a handbook or anything for it. So it's so very important that you try your best to pick the right partner to have a child by. You know what though? I agree. You learn a lot about a guy if he has a child. You learn what type of father he was going to be. The guy I was engaged to, one of the reasons why I was okay with marrying him was because I saw the kind of father he would be. And I knew that if we got married, there was a chance that we would get pregnant. We weren't planning for children, but there was a chance that we were going to get pregnant. And if that was the case, I wanted to know that he was going to be a great father to my children. And based on how he was with his daughter, I knew that he would be a great father. And he was. So that is important. Um, and then you get to see how the relationship is with the mother, the child's mother, and you can kind of determine too how he was in the past. Because some people can hide their patterns and behaviors until they get you trapped. But you can see that dynamic. You can see how he views women. You can see a lot with the person that has a child. Just be careful that you don't get somebody that has a whole lot of children with a whole lot of women and that they are still out there doing the same thing. So that's important too. Yeah, we have that. But no, Monique, I don't think that's backwards. Anything else you ladies want to add? Yes. You especially to their daughters, you wanna know that they are good to their children, period, but you could it says something about a man. Daughters usually soften men. Sorry. Daughters usually soften men. They always say, I've heard a lot of men say that, like, my daughter came along and she just changed me. But yeah, I'm happy he was a good father to his babies. That's what you want. You want to know that that man is going to be good to his children. You want to know that he can commit to, that he can commit, not only commit in a relationship with you, but that he can commit in life. If you see that he can't commit to anything, you have to know he's not going to commit to you. He's not going to commit to the relationship. He's not going to commit to fatherhood. You want to know that that person is somebody who is ready to commit. Like Future is a guy who's not going to commit. Diddy is a guy that's not going to commit. Tristan is a guy that's not going to commit and be faithful. Like some things, some patterns you see, when you see that pattern, understand that that's the pattern. Don't try to change it because you can't. Recognize it for what it is. Ask yourself, is this what I want with my life? Do I want to deal with this? And if the answer is no, then you have to keep moving. That is for sure. So, anything else, you ladies? Anything else, guys, y'all want to talk about? Well, I want to thank everybody that's in the chat. Please make sure you thumbs up the video. And I can't wait to make my first community tab post. And I'm looking forward to when I get to 1,000 subscribers and I get monetized. I'm excited for that. But I'm happy that I am able to make it to where I am. And like I said, I've been able to put out the messages that I want to, and I'm going to continue to do that. And I have some other ideas. And yeah, I just want to help people, y'all. I want to help us. I want to give advice and based off the things that I learned in my own life and what I've learned in my profession and other research that I've done. And I also just want to encourage women. I want to encourage men and women, but I also really, really want to encourage women to understand that you have the power to be the best version of yourself, that you have the right to choose a healthy partner. You can date in a healthy manner, that you deserve to be loved, honored, and respected. That I just want to get that message out. I think a lot of us grew up with parents that didn't have that conversation with us. And so we didn't know. And for us who found out the hard way, or for us who found out through life experiences, I think it's important to share. So I'm going to do that. Thank you, Monique. I love you too. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you very much. Same to you, love. Same to you. Thank you, Kimberly. Thank you. So thank you to everybody that stopped by. Thank you guys for supporting me and for showing up. On Sunday, I have someone from the UK. She's going to come and talk to us today. She has a skincare line and she's going to talk about self-esteem. And we're going to discuss self-esteem and skincare. So Self-Love Sunday this Sunday will be live. And I look forward to talking to you guys and seeing you guys. We appreciate you too, Crystal. Make sure you contact me, okay? And thank you to everyone that gave Crystal some love and some support. You guys are awesome sauce. I'm sending you some hearts. I'm going to be corny for a minute. All right, guys, I am going to log out. I'm starting to get hoarse. I don't know why, but just know that I love you and I appreciate you and I will see you soon. Thank you so much for all of your support. And please don't forget to love yourself for who you are. Take care. Good night.